I'm ready to install the components for the rear. This is the rear upper R joint assembly. This is the tool they use. I'm going to take it apart and show you exactly what needs to be done on this one right here. So this one's still intact, as you can see. I haven't touched it. This one I already started removing just to make sure I make a proper video for you. Once I remove everything, I'm going to install these R joint bushings, which is pretty cool. This here is made for a 12-bolt rear. So you see that design? It's a little oblong right there. So it's made to fit over the bell housing on the differentials when you remove the bushings and install the bushings, the new bushings. So I'm going to get to that. This is not a 12-bolt rear. This is a Ford 9-inch 3.5 offset, which is for that right there. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to put this up on a tripod and I'm going to show you how everything comes apart. So I'll be right back. Okay, I want to show you how this goes. So you remove the threaded, the bolt from the threaded rod. It comes with the kit. It's a very simple pull. So this is it right here. Okay. The other side is threaded as well. I have this hammered in. It was a little tight to get it in the hole, so I'm not going to be able to show you that. The thing is, let me do this real quick for you. Okay, you have this washer here, this large washer here that goes on the back side first. Once you install this threaded rod through the bushing, you put that on, and then you install this flat washer there. Then you take the nut and you just screw it on this side, and this fits over the bushing over here, as you can see. So it fits over the bushing like that, and then you take this larger washer with the moon shape that's cut out of it right here, and you install that on there like this. Make sure it's pretty much everything is centered, so you're giving it the same pull. It's not twisting it, which would make it harder to do. Then you install the washer through the threaded rod and install the nut on the rod, and then tighten it down and snug that up. Make sure it's equal on both sides here. Make sure it's sitting there on the housing properly. And what you end up doing is, once you snug down on this nut on the opposite side, you could tighten this. And when you tighten that, it starts pulling the bushing through the plate. And it gradually pulls the bushing through. Okay, and there you go. That's it. So this is what it looks like without the bushing. So now I am going to take this all back apart right here, and what I'm going to do is install the R bushing right here, the R joint bushing, which is this right here, and it's basically reversing the steps on the bushing. So that's going to go in there like that. Make sure it's centered, just like that, and I'm just going to push it right in. You see how I did that? So I just made sure it has these grooves here, so that's going to keep it in place. So make sure everything is centered. And I'm just going to squeeze everything in, and there's a little lip on this side. I'll show you on the other one. There's a little lip right here, and that's going to stop it from going any further. So once you hit that point, that's your stop point on these R bolts, so R joints. So if you have any questions, let me know. hardest part is to remove this threaded rod from this bushing. So what I ended up doing is I whacked it with my hammer with the nut on so I don't damage the threads all the way down to the bushing, and then I got a bolt, stuck it through the bushing, and then I whacked it out and removed it without damaging any parts. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to install the R joint, the upper R joint for the rear bushing. So basically you're reversing the steps. So I'm going to come through the bushing through the opposite side like this, and I am going to install the thicker black washer, the smaller one. I installed the larger black bushing here, the steel washer, and then I installed this washer and this nut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this in, and I'm going to install the weird shaped washer on the other side, and it's a little thinner than the plate, so it's actually the perfect size. So what I am going to do is I am going to install the moon-shaped washer, this one here, and put that on so it doesn't hit the housing. And I am going to thread the washer and the nut on the other side. So when I do that, I'm going to make it so it is snug, so I could make sure everything is lined up properly. So that actually is nice. This is actually nice right here. So everything is lining up properly. This I fitted in, so now all I have to do is tighten the bolt in the back, and that is going to pull the R joint bushing into the housing of the rear. So just take your time and gently push it in there. Make sure everything is lined up properly as you go, so you don't have any issues when you do this. And when I'm done, I'm going to turn the camera back on. I wanted to show you a close-up of everything. So this is the larger bushing, this is the shim, this is the housing on the rear, this is the R joint bushing, the larger washer, the space washer, and then the nut on the other side. I have everything fitted in all the way in, it bottomed out. So now the only thing I have to do is take it apart. So once I take it apart, I'll show you exactly what it looks like, so I'll be back. The R joint is installed, so I wanted to show you that. This is what it looks like. So there it is. See, it's in all the way. There's a lip on that side. Actually, I'm sorry, there's a lip on this side which prevents it from going in any further. That's where it bottomed out. So that's where you are. That's perfectly installed, not an issue. So now the other thing I have to do is I have to remove this one, and then I am going to start installing my rear suspension kit, which is right there. I'm going to try to make this a series of videos, so I hope you enjoy. And I'm going to remove this one, and then I'm going to install it. This is the other one on this side. And then these are the other bushings that go on in there like this, and then you attach your upper control arms. Okay, so if you guys have any questions or comments, let me know. That's about it. So I don't want to drop it, so I'm going to have to turn the camera off. I don't want to drop it on the rear, so I'll be right back. Okay, my last turn. Perfect. There it is. It's all done. It's removed. That's what it looks like. So again, if you have any questions, leave a comment. I'm going to just reverse my steps and I'm going to install it. Okay, I installed the pooler. Right here, I still have to go in. Can you see that? I don't know if that's that real clear, but there's a little lip. There it is. See that lip right here? So I need to go in probably 3/8 of an inch more, and then that's going to be seated. So I just completed installing the rear upper R joint assembly. So this is the driver's side and this is the passenger side one. It doesn't make a difference. They have a stopping point. So let me see if I could zoom in on there. So that's perfect. Everything's lining up just right. And then on this side here, these are the bushings. They just fit in there, just ready for you to install the upper control arms. So they just basically just sit inside until you're ready to put it together. So I'm going to make a series of this. I mentioned it before, and I'm going to make this the beginning of the first series on the rear suspension. So when I'm ready to install the upper control arms, which are right in front of you right there, I'm going to make another video, and it's going to be a series of about 3 or 4 videos. I got the shocks for the coilover brackets that got to get installed right there. There's an issue that I have with them. I know that already, where the holes on the rear right here do not line up properly. So I'm going to have to make another hole to make it work, which is fine. So I just want to show you everything that I need to do with that. So again, this is the first series of the rear suspension for ridetech that I'm making. So if you have any questions or comments, let me know.